Good evening to all. It's my great pleasure to introduce our chief guest, Dr.S.J. Thiruvengadam, Dean Academic Process, Director IQAC, Thiagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai. A small introduction about our chief guest. Dr. S.J. Thiruvengadam hold bachelor degree in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Thiagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai in first class with distinction. Master degree in Applied Electronics from College of Engineering, Guindy in first class with distinction, and a doctoral degree in the field of signal processing for communication from Madurai Kamarajar University. He carried out postdoctoral studies at Stanford University, USA, in the area of MIMO wireless communication under Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council postdoctoral fellowship. He is one of the members in establishing TIFAC Center of Relevance and Excellence in Wireless Technologies at TCE Madurai. He has completed many sponsored research projects in the area of signal processing and wireless communication for defense laboratories and industries. Currently, he is carrying out a research project for Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, DRDO Bangalore. 11 students have been awarded a doctoral degree under his guidance. He has published 52 research papers in reputed national international journals and 90 research papers in reputed national international conferences. He has completed Indo-Universal Collaboration for Engineering Education Certification Program with distinction and got IUCW Engineering Educators Award for the year 2017 and IUCW Institutional Leadership Award for the year 2019. He has implemented, conceive, design, implement, and operate CDIO framework for undergraduate engineering programs at Thiagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai. He has professional experience teaching and research of about 28 years in the field of signal processing and communication. Currently, he is the Dean Academic Process, IQAC Director, CDIO Core Group Coordinator, and Professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering at Thiagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai. He is a member in IEEE Signal Processing Society, IEEE Communication Society, IETE, and ISTE. His area of research interests include wireless communication, statistical signal processing, and engineering education research. So, on behalf of Ramco Institute of Technology, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Shall I share my screen, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope that the screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, good evening. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me a chance to share my experience in the field of academic process implementation through IQAC at Thiagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai. This particular presentation is my thought process about the academic process, what we can do in the IQAC, so that we can get some improvement in the student learning as well as the student engagement. So I would like to look at the vision of the IQAC as given by the NAC. They say that the IQAC should have the vision to promote quality culture as the prime concern of higher education institution through institutionalizing and internalizing all the quality enhancing and the sustaining initiatives taken with the internal and the external support. So in this particular thing, what they are asking about, the thing is the quality should be a culture at the higher education institution. So this should be for enhancing and sustaining all the initiatives related to the student learning. This is my understanding here. Let's just look at that what is in current scenario and what we expect in the future scenario, not very long duration at 2030. Then what is the role of the academic process we can do it so that we can meet this vision of the quality culture in educational institutions. I hope that in many places I will talk about as engineering education. It is applicable to everybody. I mean, some of the slides, it may be as engineering education, but it is common to all. So the one of the thing I observe it from the academic process point of view, there is a huge rapid developments in teaching and learning methods, because the knowledge is freely available at a larger quantity. Some of the things we have, the things like the online education, also we are able to get a high quality content as well as the high quality lectures. We can also get the certifications. The many possible things are there for the learners. The online program also offered as a formal courses, something like as a data science program by IIT Madras. They started as a formal courses, then the new knowledge dissemination, or sometimes it may be for the upskilling or reskilling. This is in one side. The other side is the government is pushing about the national education policy with the more focus on the online education and the open distance learning. Even if you look at the recent AQAR, they included this kind of the parameter also into the annual quality assurance report now, as well as they are also insisting on a flexible curriculum with multiple entry and multiple exit. This is in one side. The other side, AICT also has taken a lot of initiatives like AICT model curriculum, exam reform policy, then the faculty induction program for the new faculty members, then 8 different courses they are offering with the help of NIEER. They are offering all these courses. Then they are looking at the mentor also for that particular things. Then they also introduced the concept called as a first year student orientation program. Then the mandatory internship. Then apart from that, we have that NPTEL SWAM portal for the online learning. Then even for the accreditation, they have the schemes like as a Markadarshak and Markadarsan. That implies that there are a lot of push to implement the quality initiatives in an effective way, so that we can get the enrichment for our institutions now. I'm just listing out some of the things. Many more things are also possible there. So the thing is, one side, this is a good thing as a rapid development, the teaching learning methods. The other side, the online education and the open distance learning. Then the government initiatives in many forms. These are all supporting factors. Now we look at the institution point of view. I just mentioned it as a good institution in India. We are able to attract the meritorious students based on the counseling or the entrance examination, whatever it may be there. It is, we are able to attract the meritorious student. And since it is meritorious, there is a possibility that we will get all kind of the students, and majority of them may be as economically poor. That implies that the job first attitude is going to be the common thing among the students. So what happened to the challenges wise? So how do we place them in core industries? This is especially applicable for the classical branches. Then if the job first attitude is there, how do we motivate them for higher studies in core engineering? And how to inculcate the entrepreneurial attitude among the students? So there are 3 challenges I visualize in this particular thing. So what is the need of the hour is in institution, what we get to do there is, we get to provide the technical, managerial, and behavioral skills, not just technical alone. That implies that we get to bring the real world context in the college. So how we are going to provide that? The opportunity is efficient academic process. What I'm meaning it here is efficient academic process. The academic process should combine all the 3 domains. So there is a technical, managerial, and behavioral, all in terms of the knowledge, skill, and attitude. So how do we assign the curriculum, content delivery, and assessment so that we are able to meet the real world, provide the real world context to the students? So this is what is a current scenario. It may be applicable to many institutions. For me, our institutions, we feel that this is the status for the student, challenges, and the need of the hour. I extend this to the many institutions also. So this is in one side, what happened in the current scenario wise. So once I'm talking about as a efficient academic process, the first thing comes to your mind is there are some questions, challenging questions it may be. As the first one is, what type of institution do we want to be? This is my first thing. So what are the major transformations we will face in 2030? There are two questions in this particular one. What type of institution do we want to be? Then what are the major transformations institution will face in 2030? I'll give some guidelines also on what I mean it as a type of institution. Then the second question is what type of students do we want to educate? And what are the major changes students will face in 2030? This also we get to look at it. Then the third one is, once we decide what is the type of the institution and what type of the students do we want to educate, which academic process would help to sustain the preparation of the future graduate? If there are some participants from the arts and science colleges, I make it as a future graduates who can solve the human-centered complex problems in an ethical manner, how we are going to prepare that particular thing. And the last one is about what is the added value our institution can deliver in terms of the educational content as well as societal and the enterprise context. So these are all the 4 questions in my mind. So the thing is, the answer is not going to be unique. This is going to be different for different institutions based on their success stories, what they want to extend it further. Okay. So one thing I would like to help here in this particular one is, okay, what is the landscape of the higher education? If I'm going to look at from the futuristic educationalist, they say that there are 2 levels of change in the landscape of higher education. One is the large scale changes in society itself, okay, that drives us a lot. So how we are going to meet those particular things. The another thing is about the technological changes. Even if I am going to look at it from the engineering program point of view, we can introduce so many new programs, namely as the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, then data science. There are new technologies coming automatically. The branches is also we are introducing. So that may change rapidly. That also we get to look at it. Then type of higher education institution at 2030, in one of the futuristic view, they say that there may be 5 different type of institutions may be there. I'm not ordering it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't mean that it is a level 1, level 2 like that. There are 5 type of institutions. Nothing is superior, nothing is inferior kind of the things. So one is about as a research institute, something like as a knowledge and a curriculum generator. Main focus is on the world best in a particular discipline, then ideally tied to the industry gaps. Okay, I'm talking about something like as a Stanford, MIT, Harvard, kind of the things. It is going to be as a research institute or a world best in the particular discipline. The second option, what they are saying, it is a interdisciplinary knowledge generator or the allied comprehensive university. They want to be as a research institute. They are trying for that one. It is not possible for in all the disciplines, and 1 or 2 they can try as a research institute here. That is in the second type of institution. They call this as a allied comprehensive university. The third one, these 3 things completely from the student point of view, like higher education. The focus is mainly on how do we engage the student experience. That is going to be the focus that may lead to the other possible things like as a placement, higher studies, entrepreneurial, whatever it may be there. But the focus is mainly on the student experience. Then 4th one, they call it as a digital university. The curriculum focus on the flexibility, learning platforms, automated support, and the improved access. This may be the feature also, they say, completely as a digital. The last one, they are calling this as a professional learning institute. Focus is mainly on the placement or the career advancement value, with the strong tie-up with the many industries now. So the thing is, they say one of the statement that please select one of them, what you want to be, whether a research institute or you want to call this as a comprehensive university, or focus is mainly on the student experience, or in terms of the digital point of view, or your focus is mainly on the career advancement with strong tie-up with the industries. Don't try to confuse with the combinations. No. That is the warning message also given in this particular one. What you want to be, deciding. Then you focus your academic process Then strategically you develop it and implement it with the help of your internal quality assurance. That's what they are making it as a recommendations here. So like that, we get to look at each questions. As I said, the answer is not going to be unique here. It may be different for the different institutions. My focus is mainly on if this is the case, whatever it may be there. Okay. So what we get to do? What is our objective here? Okay. So how can we do better to improve the ability of the student? Okay. As I mentioned there, it may be as a research institute also. There also we have to look at that, how do we improve the ability of the students, or it may be for the professional learning institute. Again, I'm going to look at India three different ways. So the one aspect what I'm going to talk about is curricular activities. Normally, what we do it in our institutions, then the co-curricular activities, or it may be as extracurricular activities. Normally, we see all these things as a separate entities in many institutions. We do not combine the things like as a curricular and a co-curricular, how to make this as a combination, or curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular, all these things as a combinations here, because the ability, whenever I'm talking about the ability here, this is the combination of the three parameters called knowledge, skill, and attitude. So all the three cannot be given directly only from the curricular activities. We may need to combine with some appropriate co-curricular and extracurricular activity. That means our academic process should be flexible enough to accommodate these things now. Okay, that is what we get to do. It is a college, or in my opinion, colleges is a faculty. We get to do better to improve the ability of the student. So I go one step further in the objective. The same question. Then we can make a lot of complaint also, sir. This is a very small institution. We get the students from the rural background. They are not able to communicate it properly. We may make a lot of complaints also there. So my thing is, this is within the available student, faculty, time, funding, and the other resources. What are the things we can do in order to improve the ability of the student? So the first one comes to my mind is the curriculum design. The second thing, what we are going to do it in the content delivery. It is not just a teaching learning process. I would like to emphasize on the design implement experiences, then the faculty competence, and the third step is on the assessment. So what are our learning assessment methodologies appropriate or relevant to the outcome, what we are expecting? Then how do we evaluate our program success? So the thing is, overall, I call this as a academic process. Earlier thing also I mentioned that I try to combine these three things as one of the combined activity. Then in specific, I would like to focus on these three parameters: curriculum design, content delivery, and the assessment point of view. So one step further here, what we get to do from the educational leaders, maybe from the IQAC members, we need to communicate to the stakeholders at both the far and the near mindsets to affect the acceptance and the adoption. What do you mean by that? I decided at the 2030, what is my vision, what type of institution I want to be, what type of students I want to attract, and what is my strategic plan with respect to reach that particular destination through my academic process. So we get to inform to our stakeholders why we are doing all these things. It is the far mindset, how we are going to make it, answering the why questions. And the second thing is about the near question, that is a focus shift to the how questions now. Once we decide, we also look at that, how I am going to implement it. The thing is why and how. Okay, why should I change? Okay, why should I change the type of the institution? Why should I focus on the type of students I want to attract? Why should I change my strategic plan in academic process also, so that I can improve the ability of the students, as well as how I am going to address the societal and enterprise context. All these things we get to look at it in detail, then we get to communicate to all the stakeholders also. So the idea is very simple. What I'm going to talk about here as the curriculum design, content delivery, and assessment. Then how to connect with the quality culture. That's going to be my idea here. And before I move on to that, I just look at that what are the ways we can improve the quality of education. I am sorry for that, engineering word is everywhere there. Okay. There are three approaches they say. One is about the program outcomes approach. In India, for the engineering education programs, the NBA has made it mandatory that the OBE, outcome-based education, is mandatory for getting accreditation for the engineering programs. 2013 onwards, it is there, almost 10 years now. Okay. The thing is, this may be as one of the driving factor. Okay. If we implement this OBE in a true spirit, okay, then what do they say now? Just to focus on the all 12 graduate attributes or the program outcome, it covers the knowledge, skill, and attitude, all the three domains. But most of the programs, we are concentrating mostly on the knowledge part. The academic process or curriculum, whatever it may be, focus is mainly on this. Somehow, in many programs, we miss to communicate as well as evaluate skill and attitude. We are not able to address it properly. This is the major challenge, in my opinion, when we want to implement OBE effectively. I hope that everybody will agree this also. The second approach, what do they say? Okay, if it is said, no problem here. The second approach they call this as a potential approach. It's called the education potential approach. Here the focus is on the faculty. I am not going to make any compromise on the appointment of the faculty and their role in the institution. I want to attract a qualified faculty, and I would like to emphasize the prestige of the faculty also. This is going to be the major focus. The second thing is about my infrastructure, modern laboratory infrastructure, modernity of the laboratory equipment. And the third one is the standard of the educational infrastructure. So here the belief is that once I'm going to ensure all the three, they say that automatically the process will be in place, then automatically we can implement the strategic plan effectively so that we can go for the enhancement of the educational institutions now. That's what they are making it here. The third one is completely about a process approach. For everything, we are going to look at it. What is the standard operating procedure? How do we evaluate? Okay, we are going to look at that particular point of view also. In most of the time, we also write many SOPs in the IQ standard operating procedure for all the activities there. They call this as a process approach. This may be for the structure. What is the way the structure of the organization should be there? Then the teaching and learning process, we are going to define what is the way we get to do that, and curriculum, what should be the way we get to design, and the syllabus, and what should be the syllabus sequence, or the scheduling of courses, the length of the particular course and the topic. Each and everything we are going to make it in terms of the SOP. So what I am going to look at it here, this is the standard operating procedure. This one is about our, maybe as a faculty and infrastructure. And first one is about the completely with the concept called as the OBE, outcome-based education approach. So if I am going to look at from the accreditation point of view also, I need to satisfy all the three here. But take one of the approaches, automatically that will lead to the enhancement in the quality culture. Okay? But we are able to provide all the three, that is very fine. No? I want to implement the outcome-based education effectively with the qualified faculty members, with the modern laboratory equipment, the standard educational infrastructure, with the SOP for all my activities. Definitely it is possible. But it is a challenging task also when we get into the implementation point of view. So this is what I am going to make it now. So the question is now, what may be the components of the academic process? So what following now in the our institute, I'm going to look at from the 8 different components I'm going to list out now for the academic process here. The first one is about what is the institutional academic policy or strategy. How I am going to make the particular thing. This strategy will include the bench. I will also explain that what I am trying to do in this particular one. Second thing is about the automation process, so that I can do all the data analytics and everything in a simplified manner. Then the third one is about the infrastructure management, how I am going to do that with respect to the academic process. Then the learner support system, how I am going to do that. Then course management. The course management is nothing but a subject management here. Then the how I am going to build the personal and interpersonal and the system building skill among the faculty members. It is not, I'm not talking about the technical side, I'm talking about the skill and attitude part of that. Then the assessment, how I ensure that I am using appropriate assessment and evaluation methodologies, okay, to measure the student learning. Okay. Then the last one is about, as you said, it is a continual improvement. What are the activities I am going to do that? So this is, in my opinion, there are 8 different parts. It starts from the institutional academic policy to the continued improvement in all the cases now. I go one step further. What I am trying to do in academic policy or the strategy. Okay. So this is the benchmarking. I start from the benchmarking because what I want to do as a visionary things I am going to look at it here means some of the things as a World Economic Forum, Industry 4.0, then higher education landscape, what is the way it is projected, maybe in 2030. All these things I want to do that. Okay. Then the thing is, look at from the regulatories there, what if you being an autonomous institution, engineering institution, I get to look at that, what is the regulatory authorities, this UGC, I get to look at the AICT and then the updating university. What are the things they want to convey as a regulatory mechanisms? Then accordingly, I would like to go for the curriculum and the course design. Then I'm going to look at that. Recently, the focus is mainly on the online courses. Means how I am going to ensure that we are also going to offer the online courses specifically to our students or the other students, or in a blended mode, we get to make a policy on this particular thing. Then accordingly, I will go for the approval for the academic process in the Board of Studies and the academic council. It's a regular process I'm going to do. In my opinion, the first 3 things are going to be the huge task. Okay. Before that, we should make sure that our vision at 2030, suppose I'm going to look at from the 8 years down the line, okay, we get to decide on this particular one. Then the automation process, the whatever it may be there for the choice-based credit system or the outcome-based education, to the extent possible, I would like to automate all the process so that the faculty members have lesser time to spend on calculating all these outcome measurement and all these things. They can spend more time on the other activities also there. Then choice-based credit system, we would like to give it as a career choice, what I get to do. This based on what is the role they want to play in the after graduation. Okay. They may be as a marketing engineer or the researcher or the product development. There are many possible things depending on their own learning style and in their interest. If you are able to offer the courses, that is fine. That is, if that means the flexibility is more, then automatically we need to go for the automation process. Then the data analytics to improve the quality of the academic process. Because once you do the automation, automatically we can go ahead with the many data analytic things is possible. That will give a lot of ideas where we get to proceed further, project further, or focus further. Okay, definitely we'll get some idea. Then we can go ahead like this. This is my second point. The third one, the learner support system. Because being in educational institutions, we get different type of the learners. Okay, how we are going to support the various type of the learners in terms of the either content delivery as well as in the assessment method. If somebody wants to do it in a slow manner, how we are going to adapt the remedial measures so that they are also be the part of the quality culture here. That is going to be my learner support system side. And subject management or in the course management, like to start from the course plan and how I'm going to effectively implement the same thing. Then what are the active learning strategies I'm going to implement? Then the coverage of the syllabus, because the immediate complaint about these active learning strategies means many faculty members may complain that may affect the syllabus coverage and all these things. What is the way we are going to trade off between these two things? How I am going to conduct the tutorials so that the complex problems can be solved by the students effectively. Then the student engagement. All these things depends on how much they involve in that particular course. That is going to be my measure in this particular one. This is my fourth things. Then I am going to look at from the infrastructure management point of view. The things are changing rapidly. The teaching and learning process. We cannot go ahead with the earlier ways of going ahead with the chalkboard, then the maybe as the overhead projector, even that LCD projector. We get to plan further and further. That means how I am going to create a smart classroom. Okay, how many? If there are financial commitment is also there, how I am going to balance it. Those kind of the things we get to look at. Then the maker space, because I am looking at all the three. On the three, in the sense, I am going to look at from the knowledge. Okay, this is one part I am going to look at that. If I want to really improve the skill and the attitude part of that, I get to provide some space for that particular thing. Means how I am going to create some maker space or some workspace for the student. They can try with many possible thinking, whatever the innovative ideas they have. Where do they try? We get to provide some options in the campus. Then, if possible, apart from the IQAC, we can also plan to have some teaching and learning center. Focus is mainly on the content delivery part of the particular things now. Okay, I'm talking about only about the content delivery aspect here. This is going to be my fifth point here. What I want to do it as a infrastructure management. Then the faculty competence wise, I'm not talking about the technical thing. I'm just talking about as a pedagogical training programs, because whenever we want to make some change in an institution, if the faculty members do not agree with this, we cannot go ahead with the faculty competence improvement here. So that is the fundamental things. So how we are going to provide this or conduct the pedagogical training programs for the faculty members? There may be some reluctance. So how we are going to convince those faculty members to attend this program and to learn and change. Okay, that is going to be the very challenging task. Then we can also encourage them to go for the online certifications, especially in this particular aspect. Then how I am going to train my technical staff for the conducting the practical courses effectively. Okay, then faculty conclave, that is going to be as a sharing platform, so that everybody can learn what in this semester what I did. It did differently, then what is the success story, or sometimes we may fail also. We can also inform in the faculty conclave that I tried this, somehow it is not working. That also can be shared in the faculty conclave. Then apart from our technical research, if time permits, we can also go ahead with the concept called as a engineering education research. Because as a teacher, if I am going to do this kind of the things, I know better about the academic process now. That's the reason why I put this engineering education research also. Then the assessment point of view, we are talking about as a, the quality of the test paper or the assignments or the tutorials or the examination paper. This decides everything. If the pressure is on the pass percentage, sometimes the faculty members started looking at somewhat the easy questions, kind of the things, but there should not be any compromise on the quality of the assignments, tutorial, test, or the examination. Then how do we prepare the students to meet this requirement? That is going to be the things we can do it. Then the result analytics. Once we did what worked well and what did not work well, we get to look at it carefully. Then the tools for the affective and the psychomotor domains, because we are very good at the cognitive knowledge part of it, because that is our day-by-day activity. But the focus should be given more on this aspect also, affective and psychomotor domains, what I'm going to do it here, what are the tools I can utilize it. Because many times we talk about this, we started implementing it, then there is a complaint that we are not able to do it effectively. Then we go for the iterative process. So this is going to be the challenging task. And we would like to develop rubrics wherever we cannot do it in a quantitative manner. All these things, finally, I'm talking about as a continual improvement. We would like to get the feedback from the stakeholders, students, faculty, employers, parents, and alumni. Then I'm going to look at it, what is the action taken, report on that particular things now. So these are all my first part of the things. I'm going to also look at it, what is the impact on this particular one. That also I get to look at it. So what I did so far, I just mentioned about the vision of the IQAC as given by the NAC. That was my first thing. I would like to concentrate mostly on the quality culture. This is the key word. I would like to do that. If it is a culture, automatically there should be institutionalized, and everybody in the institution should go with respect to that particular things now. This is mainly for improving the student learning. That is my objective means. Then I looked at, this is my first point here. And the second point, what I look at it, what is my current scenario? I just mentioned about all over the world what happened here as in the teaching and learning process. In India, what is the role of the NEP and the online education? Then what are the initiatives by the government in order to improve the quality of higher education? Then I just looked at what happened in a typical engineering institutions like this. What are the students' behavior and what are the challenges and what is the need and what is my opportunity here? Then I put a lot of 4 questions as the statement for the future scenario. Okay. Then this is about as a 2030, what I get to do it. Okay. Because every day we see the challenges, changes, as well as the challenges are many. At least 10 years down the line, or maybe it is 2030 as a fundamental thing. What is the type of the institution and what type of the students we would like to have it, and in order to meet the requirement at 2030, what should be our strategic plan? Okay, those things we get answered. I also given certain ideas like say 5 different institutions are there. Okay, that's projected by the Colon IQ, the initiatives. They say that 5 different things, which is best suitable for you, you decide. Then you decide on what should be your strategic plan. Then you develop your academic process kind of things. But these are all the things as a very big things means we get to think from institution itself means, okay, what I get to do. As a faculty, I am not able to understand this is the superficial thing, current scenario, future scenario means you just focus on 3 parameters. Look at what are the curricular activities, co-curricular activities, then the extracurricular activities there. Are we try to combine this to measure the knowledge, skill, and attitude part of the student? That's what I'm going to look at it here. The focus was mainly on the knowledge part of it or the curricular activities. Somehow they are doing it, but we are not taking into the consideration in order to evaluate the student performance now. That means what I get to do there. But in the academic process, when I'm going to look at from the 8 different composition, I made it here. One is about as my institutional academic policy. We should be very careful on that. For what are the co-curricular and extracurricular activities we are going to give the credit, or how I am going to design this curriculum, with respect to that within the available student, faculty, time, funding, and other resources. I will include one more thing also, regulatory authorities. How I am going to give it as a curriculum design which is suitable for improving my quality culture. Okay, then accordingly you make it as a automation process. That's the second point I made it there. Once you make a lot of changes, the students may feel difficulty. So how do we support them? For the different type of the learners, we are going to do that. And what I am going to do it in a subject or in a course, what I am going to do it now. Then how I am going to improve my infrastructure. Okay, that was I'm talking about as infrastructure management. And finally, faculty competence, assessment, and continual improvement. Okay, this is what I did. I mentioned about the 3 approaches there. I am not bothered about anything there. I want to implement OB effectively. That is fine. That is one way of one strategy there. Other thing is about my potential approach. Focus is mainly on the faculty, then the infrastructure and continual improvement. How I am going to do that. Then the third aspect that I'm talking about is a standard operating procedure for each and everything. I will follow that particular thing truly and systematically, means how I am going to do that. If I'm able to combine all the three, that is good. This is my first part of the things. The next part, I will focus mainly on the curriculum, what I get to do, content delivery, and assessment part. What are the things we can do as a faculty member? Shall I proceed further?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Maybe as a second part now. So this is my expected outcome. I'll come to this particular point as a last slide. Okay. So what I'm going to look at it here, because this is part of my institutional strategy. I'm going to look at from the curriculum things now. I asked this question many of my lectures also. Do we attempt to educate 21st century learners with a 20th century curriculum taught in a 19th century institution? I also asked this question in many of my things. And I just look at my chat box. Can you please respond in the chat box now? The question is now, are we trying to do, or do we attempt to educate 21st century learners with a 20th century curriculum taught in a 19th century institution? I didn't get any response in the chat box so far.
Participant kindly respond.
Okay, no. Good. Okay. I hope that there are 179 participants are here, including me. Okay, not exactly. Good. No. No. It's not possible. Okay. Okay. So what we try to do, not exactly, that is good. Okay. So we got the good answers from some of the participants. If it is not so, we are very happy. Then how do we proceed further? If it is yes, we should change. If it is, the answer is no, so how do we proceed further? Then if it is yes, we get to make the change immediately. The answer is going to be different at different institutions. It is not going to be the same answer I am expecting from everybody. Okay. So the thing is now, what we get to do there is, I'm talking about as an engineering education point of view. The thing is, this is a very popular slide in the CDIO things here, conceive. The CDIO stands for the conceive, design, implement, and operate. This is what we call this as a CDIO framework. The thing is very simply, they mention it here. The x-axis, it represents a disciplinary knowledge, and the y-axis, they are talking about the interpersonal, personal, and system building skills. What I'm talking about, this side, it is a knowledge, and this side, they are talking about the skill and attitude. So their projection is that before 1950s, practice was the dominant factor and less emphasis on the disciplinary knowledge. Then 1960s, it slowly became as a science and a practice, more emphasis on the knowledge part of that at the cost of personal, interpersonal, and system building. We go move further and further. 1980s, slowly the engineering education, the skill and attitude part of it, personal, interpersonal, and the system building part of it. So the focus is only on the knowledge part of this. If this graph goes like this, automatically we'll be losing this particular part completely. That means we will not be able to produce engineers. So the thing is, they want to make some changes. There are contributions by the industry as well as from the professional societies. They started working on that, how we are going to take this particular curve to this side. What does it imply means? We would like to focus on the knowledge as well as the skill and attitude. How we are going to do that particular things. That time only they in MIT Aerospace Engineering, okay, Professor Edward Bradley came up with the idea called as a conceive, design, implement, and operate, so that we can use our knowledge and the personal, interpersonal, and the system building, so that we can go for the things like conceiving a new idea, design it, and implement it, and operate as an engineer. This is the kind of the things they want to do it. Okay? So that means, what are the way our curriculums should be changed? So the NEP also, they say that they agree with this particular parameter. They say that it is a less emphasis on the development of the skills. That is going to be the things. And they are also saying that there is a rigid separation of the disciplines. We put a lot of verticals, then we don't talk with each other. Then the autonomy wise, the limited teacher and institutional autonomy to make the changes in the curriculum. As well as they give the answer also for these three things. One thing about in order to improve the cognitive skills, they say they revamp the curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, and student support. I'm also talking in this line. Okay, curriculum, content delivery, and assessment part of that. Then how we are going to move towards the multidisciplinary undergraduate education, and they would like to provide more and more autonomy by changing the norms in the regulatory authorities there. Okay, so our focus is mainly on this side, not on these two things. Focus is on this side. No, that means I want to make some changes. I'm doing it. I want to continue that particular thing. Means what are the different type of changes we try to do it. Okay, so the one thing is a smaller change in every things, like one element may be substituted for another. The syllabus is almost the same. If I'm going to look at the scheduling of courses, it may be looking like it's the same thing. I'm making smaller changes. That kind of the things they call it as a substitution. Then sometimes we are going to look at the change in the syllabus content that may be readily adapted by the faculty members. These are all elementary changes. And sometimes we are forced to make those changes. Something like, say, what we do it in our the COVID-19 situations. Okay, that was disruptive, but we learned it very quickly. Then we adjusted it with a shorter time so that we can go for the further changes there. But what we want to do it for the quality culture, okay, I'm looking at these two things. What is the way I'm going to restructure the changes? If you are doing it, is it correct? Just to make a assurance on that particular thing. Then the fifth one is as a value orientation changes. This is what I am looking for. This is level wise. This is at the fifth level. This is at the fourth level here. At least I am looking at this particular part, not just replace, substitution, alteration. If disruption is there, this is not in our hand. Okay, so what this is going to be better patients, automatically it is going to be there. But 4 and 5, I'm looking at it. What is the way I get to move further? That means I should know that what are the structures available. Okay, these are all the things they make it as a fundamental ideas. One, we are calling it as a strict disciplinary curriculum, the conventional thing. Okay, but in a CDIO concept, what I am mentioning, it is a conceive, design, implement, and operate. There is a strict disciplines, but these are all the things embedded with skills and the projects interwoven. Skills and the projects interwoven means I may bring some co-curricular activities also as a part of my curricular structure. I get to assign some credit for this particular thing. If necessary, I will also go for the extracurricular activities now. Okay, so this will give the better student learning. Then I can also make it as a very successful engineers I can produce there. The third part is on some of the universities, they follow the problem-based curriculum. Projects are important. And if I want to complete a particular problem, I get to learn some concepts. That concept I am going to look at it. This is primary. This problem is primary. Our project is primary. In order to complete a particular thing, I'm going to learn the concept means. This is comes into a picture. And the last one is about completely opposite my strict disciplinary curriculum. This is called as a apprenticeship model. In some Singapore, some polytechnics at Singapore, they follow this kind of the approaches there. One day, one problem they would like to solve. How they are going to proceed further based on completely on the projects. There is no organized introduction of the disciplines. So the thing is, in my opinion, as per our regulatory authorities' point of view, so this is going to be the good idea to go ahead now. We are not making a lot of changes here. What I am doing here, already the existing things are going to be a strict disciplinary curriculum. I would like to make the skills and the project as interwoven here. That is going to be my idea. So I can get a CDIO curriculum that can be implemented easily. Then with a lot of training and a faculty competence level also in terms of the pedagogy, we can go ahead further. This is also, we implemented the CDIO-based curriculum. We introduced at our institution in 2018-19. Now we are seeing a lot of changes in the attitude as well as the skill of our graduates also now. Okay. So that's going to be the fundamental. There will be faced a lot of challenges to reach our faculty members. We give them a lot of training, how to implement the CDIO-based curriculum effectively. Till now, there are a lot of areas we got to improve further and further so that we can get the full success of implementing the CDIO-based curriculum. So the thing is, main points. What are the things I'm talking about as a engineering, but the concepts what I'm going to talk about is common for everybody. The thing is on connect the courses, why they are interlinked, integrated. That's going to be my fundamental idea. In many of the things, even though we are getting the meritorious students in some many student council meeting or some feedback meetings, they are talking about us, why do we study mathematics? What is the connection between this engineering and this mathematical part of that? We should tell them very clearly, okay, what is the integrate, how do we integrate the theories of the probability, statistics, numerical analysis and everything, okay? Then they tell them very clearly that what is design and analysis. If it is analysis, only one answer. If it is design, there is a possibility of many answers here. That implies we should go ahead with a lot of design questions. Where do we get? That was one of the major challenges we had in CDIO curriculum implementation. Then the second one, what we learned is the communication skill. It is not the job of the English department and just offering the courses on English and professional communication. It should be part and parcel of the engineering subjects also, or the core subjects also, okay? Especially to check this written and oral skills of the students. And the third one is about teamwork. This is definitely possible with the help of giving some projects. So how they are going to implement it, what is the role of each person in the team, how do they play, all these things we get to look at it carefully. Then how do we make it like this, solid, basic and engineering science. This is essential. There are a lot of observations on this particular thing that in order to accommodate more engineering courses or the core courses, we try to minimize the basic science and engineering science courses. This may lead to the negative effect on the qualifications of the engineers. In some of the cases, we make it as somewhat the minimum credits we assign for this kind of the things. Then tell them very clearly what are the importance of the other sciences also in continuation with that. Then how do we inculcate this professional ethics not as a single course? How do we practice them as a culture? How do we do that? And what is our close cooperation with the industry in many aspects? How we are going to deal with, maybe as offering the industry supported courses in the weekend, or establishing the industry supported lab, or we send the faculty members for as a intern or the skill development kind of the things. What are the way we are going to make it as an interaction? All these things are going to play the major role when I want to implement this particular concept here. So in my opinion, instead of going for this particular strict disciplinary curriculum, this will be more helpful. Maybe our academic process gives this particular support. Definitely we can get a lot amount of success in these things now. So this is what I am going to look at it from the things like maybe as a looking like as a complex. I'm not asking you to read each and everything here. This is what we did as outcome of the many meetings we held with the faculty members and the alumni and some of the academic experts. This is going to be as a fundamental thing because we get to plan it effectively. That's the reason why we are going to start from what will be the technologies at 2030. For that, what I get to give it as a courses, and for that, what are the fundamental things are required. Then you give it as a one group of things will be as a foundation, and another thing will be as a elective courses. This is a concept you look at it here. Then in some courses, we get to focus mainly on the knowledge. In some courses, we get to look at the interpersonal skills will be the dominant things. So how we am going to balance it? So look at that, how many courses I can assign in this particular square. Okay, then look at these particular things. And somebody wants to go for the higher studies, they don't want to focus mainly on the skill and attitude part of that. What are the things? Then how I'm going to look at the topmost corner of this. Then we thought about that. How do we make it as the 9 squares? This will give you a very clear idea about the combinations, so the student can choose which part they would like to focus, because these things will be as the fundamental things, core subject kind of the things. Whether we are going to move it to this direction or they are going to move it to this direction, depending on their interest, we would like to provide them. This requires a lot of exercise and commitment from the faculty as well as from our alumni. Okay? We get to get it like this. This is what we are making it as a process. This is one side what I talk about as a curriculum part of that. Maybe quickly I will cover this content delivery part of that. I got some interference from the. Exactly, this will happen in our classroom also. Okay, so we want to convey some messages to the students. Somebody will disturb like this. Okay, so this is going to be the things. I just focus on 4 points, then I will move on to the next one here. Okay, so what do they need? The current students, what do they need is they prepare the open, transparent, and fair interaction. Then they want that the content should be relevant very quickly. They don't spend too much time on what do they want to convey. Okay, then it is going to be as a multiple modes. Okay? Not just the chalk and talk, only PPT. They don't like that particular kind of the things. Then independent, they want to do it as a researching information. Okay, one good thing is that every day what they get to do it. Shortly, if we get to give it to them, then definitely they can do that. So what is the teacher role? Also I given it here. That kind of the things we get to look at the psychology of maybe the millennial learners. And the second thing is they all connected well with the technology. How do we utilize that particular thing, like as a online courses kind of the things, not as a purely online. Okay, if you ask the students, they would say that it is a content delivery in offline and examination in online, but we get to do it in a different way. Okay, then how do we address the short attention span? How do you do that? Then social interaction with the peers and teacher. How do we make sure that this is possible? And another point I would like to mention it here as a thing is as a resilient teaching methodology. The focus should be mainly on this side. Okay, this is what the things we are emphasizing from our IQAC, the instruction, practice, feedback, then go ahead with the more instructions. So how do we make sure that this is happening at each topic level? How we are going to do that? Okay. This particular one is the very important thing I'd like to convey here. And wherever possible, try to utilize the best content available Okay, then don't spend too much time on creating the newer one. That is going to be the part we would like to emphasize this particular slide. Existing content. Okay. Use existing content. We don't have the time to create the new set of the instructional materials. Select the best one and combine it. Then the another thing is about the assessment part of that. High value teaching and mentoring activities also, that is, it will be more helpful to get the student attraction and engagement also. The last one is about the discussion forums. If possible, definitely we can introduce a discussion forum using the LMS available at the institutions. Some learning management systems, definitely try to engage them in the discussion forum, okay, so that they can learn in a better way. These are all our suggestions and what we are trying to implement at our institution here. And this is what we are making it as a resilient teaching models. Then in the assessment part, I would like to look at in a 3 different way, because all my focus was on the knowledge, skill, and the attitude part of that. So the assessment may be on the knowledge. Okay, every teacher, they take it in a different way depending on their discipline as well as what subject they are teaching. They adapt certain methods like as a pre-concept. Suppose if it is a continual course, okay, so I am going to teach signal processing. Signals and system is a prerequisite course. I'm going to look at what level they are. I want to understand what kind of the things. Okay, the kind of it's a pre-concept test. I'm maybe in terms of cues or some self-test, or I can give some case study analysis, review, worksheet. There are a lot of possible things. This is all these things we got from the faculty workshop. They suggested that what can be as a category 1, knowledge or the concept level. The second thing, it may be as a communication and a presentation. How I am going to improve that particular thing. It may be in terms of the seminar or the video presentations, and make it as a field visit. Discussion forum is another one, GD, and comprehensive viva. These are all the things suggested. Okay. Everybody, they need not adapt everything here. Okay, they are going to choose the best one, or it may not be in the list if they are going to implement it for the betterment of the communication and the presentation skill of the student. Definitely they can utilize that particular tool also. But the thing is, it should be assessed. That is the fundamental thing. It is not just the thing. Assessed means we are going to give some credit for that particular things also. Then the third level, if you want to continue further, so make it as a online coding event with a project team, then try to implement it, journal review, collaborative work, something like as a research proposal. How do you identify a problem, research problem identification? We introduced a course on a research practice for our undergraduate students. That's third year. On the 5th semester, they will take that particular problem. They start looking at that. If they're able to publish a research quality research paper in a Scopus indexed journal or in a conference, we will award them as a 3 credit for that particular things. Initially, the enrollment was heavy. Then slowly, what happens there? Finally, year on year or month by month, we saw that there is a dropout in this particular thing. Because many students got placements, means they got the lesser interest on the continuing with the research problem. But finally, we got some good success. At least the minimum 10 teams, they got the publications out of this particular course now. So the best part of that particular thing, not just 10 papers, the way they are looking at their core courses, the regular courses, that it's completely different. Automatically, they got the success in the competitive examinations also. That is going to be the another advantage is what I'm going to look at it here. This is going to be one of the things I'm just going to share there. And data collection and interpretation, a lot of things they can do it. But whatever it may be there, okay. So the thing is, it should be assessed properly. It should be appropriate to the course and the learning outcomes what we are having now. So slowly, what I'm making it here, in all the cases, our academic process should move from outputs to outcomes. This is my fundamental idea I would like to convey here. What strategies we are going to adapt? Okay. Whenever we are going to look at from the college management point of view, they may ask that what is the result, pass percentage, what is the campus placement record. Even if you look at from the NARF, they are also asking about that how many students passed within the stipulated time and how many got placed and how many got the higher studies. Even for the NAC also, they are going to ask this particular question, pass percentage, campus placement, and all these things. What is our admission level? What is the opening score and what is the closing score? Okay, but all these things are the quantitative things. But the challenging task is that, okay, what is the problem solving ability? What type of the problems my student can solve? The pass percentage may be good. If they are not able to solve the complex problem, definitely this is going to be a number, but that is not going to be the quality enhancement for the student as well as for the institute. The thing is, whatever the 8 components I mentioned it there, we get to find the strategies to move from this outputs to outcome. It may be as a problem solving or maybe as a research capability. We are going to provide some catalyst or the tool in our curriculum or in the content delivery as well as in the assessment part so that they can capture it. If possible, if we are able to measure the particular thing, definitely it is a very good success for that one. This is social interaction or the societal understanding, employability, automatically, okay, entrepreneurship skill. Then the personal and interpersonal skill, how do they do that? For the lifelong learning side, how they are going to look at the professionalism, ethics, passion, and commitment. How do they do it? This is the basic requirement of the academic process and the role of the internal quality assurance cell. Okay, how do we move from these outputs to the outcomes? That is the fundamental idea. Whatever the things we discussed so far in the particular session may be helpful to you. 1 or 2 points you can take it for relevant to your institution. Definitely you can make use of that particular thing. As a summary, what I'm trying to do it here, if I'm talking about as a best academic process is about how our IQAC helps the faculty institution to, or the faculty members and students institutionalize and internalize the strategic process for continual improvement of the student learning outcome. I would like to re-emphasize one more time as within the available student, faculty, time and funding and other resources. Why I'm stretching this particular point again and again, every institution is different. In one institution, it may work well. If I'm going to copy that particular thing and put it in my place, this may not work properly. We should understand what is our current scenario at our institution, what is the best possible things we can adapt, suitable for us, then we get to go ahead like this. It doesn't mean that I am going to, in order to improve the quality culture, okay, I'm going to give the extra task for the teacher and the student, okay. They ask them to work 100 hours more. We are not trying to do that particular thing. Whatever we have, try to retask it. Whatever the time we have, okay, retask that particular thing. So this is my fundamental idea here. So the thing is, okay, try to adapt. That is a fundamental thing. So this is I hope that many of you just go through it, maybe. Sorry, take a bridge. So this particular bridge is constructed in order to support the many different possible natural disaster. This is strongly built, but one of the natural disaster, the river changed its direction. The bridge is here, but the river is flowing in this side. Okay, we need not be very rigid in our standard operating procedures and everything. The thing is, we have to be flexible. Okay, so that then automatically it can drive to move towards our quality culture. Okay, so the thing is, the build to adapt rather than build to last. Okay, with this quote, I would like to conclude my session. Okay, so whatever it may be, the academic process or the quality culture is common for all. Some take pearls, some take fishes, some come out to be just wet legs. The world is so common to all. What we get is what we try for. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope that I made it in time. Okay. Then if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer the questions now.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? I am very happy to answer the
Participant side. So you can unmute your mic or you can post your questions in the chat.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Sir, I want more one clarification regarding about the content delivery, sir. There is a millennial learners and the teacher role already. You have a very good explanation. But this is not possible for applied institutions, sir.
Sir, repeat the question, sir. Last one is it possible to?
Possible to applying for applied institutions. That is a university applied self-financing institutions.
Sir,
Not for
content delivery.
autonomous and
Okay. Sir, even
means,
for the applied
millennial
institution or the self-financing institutions, applied institution, curriculum is given by the university, as well as the assessment is also carried out by the university. So the one good thing is available with us is the content delivery part, sir. So definitely we can do a lot in the content delivery part. Definitely it is possible.
Okay, sir. Because the time is very low, sir. Nowadays, we are the Anna University, Chennai. Okay. Actually, the curriculum and syllabi already displayed in the university.
Yes,
but in between, we have completed on non-Mudalvan scheme. So that also involved into the students level. So we are not communicate with that non-Mudalvan scheme as well as curriculum and syllabi for students.
This is the challenge, sir. This is what I am mentioning it as it may be the problem what we are facing slightly different from the other institution also. Customize it. Definitely we can get a nice idea. Definitely I can solve it. But content delivery is definitely with you. You can do a lot of things. It may be as a non-Mudalvan or Nalayatharan or Pudumipan. Lot of schemes are going to be there. How we are going to make our system adaptive. That's going to be the things.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any questions from participant side?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, so you have discussed about that CDIO implementation. So
yes, sir.
Kindly share a one-line statement about the higher education institutes moving towards CDIO. What kind of base work do they need to do, sir? So if a self-financing institute is what, so they started to implement CDIO concept in their organization. By that time, what kind of groundwork they need to build, and they can implement in an effective way. A small suggestion from your side.
Okay. The CDIO implementation is highly suitable for the university because they have a lot of freedom in all aspects, starting from the policy to the end. But for the autonomous institution, it is possible, sir. We are autonomous institutions because we get the curriculum design, content delivery, and assessment with us now. So what we get to decide that in each semester, what are the skill and the attitude part of the course, because that is missing in our regular curriculum side. So what we did in our institution, we just introduced one course in each semester that will focus mainly on this particular design and implementation experience. We get to provide that particular thing means that is going to be the curriculum point of view. Before we implementing that, we get to train our faculty in those aspects. That is the challenging part. We get to identify a suitable faculty members. They should be ready to spend time on getting that particular experience. If it is possible, definitely we can go ahead with the CDIO implementation. And another good thing about the CDIO implementation is that they are giving it as a what are the things we get to do it for the curriculum design. Tool is available. tool in the sense they are making it as a manual kind of the things. They list out all the things, what we get to do it for the skill measurement, attitude measurement, everything is available with us. We can go ahead with this particular thing so that we can get a very good curriculum on it. Then we can go to the implementation. The challenging parts are going to be how we are going to accommodate the courses focus mainly on the skill and attitude. The second major challenge is the identification of the appropriate faculty members and how we are going to provide a training before we implement it. These are the two challenges we faced it, and we were able to overcome that particular thing in a nice way also. That was the good success for us. Definitely I can do it, sir. For the if it is autonomous institution, definitely I can try.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, before applying CDIO, then after applying the CDIO, what is the feedback your institution getting from the students, sir? Is it?
That is the good thing, sir. Before applying CDIO, let us make it in this way now. Then now we are able to attract the good students. They are very good at getting the marks, and they are able to score maybe as clearing the competitive examinations. But after introducing that, the focus was mainly on the how they are going to take it to the product level. That is the best thing. Even one of the courses in the CDIO course, they started putting an exhibition on best products, whatever they designed in that particular semester. They put it in as a exhibition. Automatically, their focus is mainly on look at everything from the product point of view and take it to the next level. Otherwise, I'll put it in a very simple word. It is not just a research, it is the research to the product, innovative products. So they are comfortable, and they are also talking the communicative skills. We see a lot of improvements among the students now. That is going to be the second major thing, sir. And then they are also they are ready to travel to any place in order to show their work, because they are very much confident on their work. Then they can go and present it, and they got very good feedback also for their work now. These are all the three major things, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in the assessment process, you mentioned that credit will be assigned for the publication of paper to students.
Yes, sir.
So whether it is a semester based or
this is not semester based, sir. The third year, they will register for the particular course. We will assign a faculty members who is very good in the research aspect now. They will start working on that. We are expecting them to publish a paper or filing a patent at the 7th semester only.
Okay.
So we are giving 1.5 years duration, sir, for that.
Okay. So that's why I asked. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
From participant sides, any questions are there? Okay, thank you very much. So thank you, Professor. It's my time to convey my sincere thanks to Dr.S.J. Thiruvengadam, Dean, Academic Process Director, IQAC, Thiagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai. So in this forum, various institution dean academics, coordinators, IQAC coordinators, plan coordinators, and faculty from higher educations are assembled. Professor has addressed clearly about the category of higher education institution. How can we do better to improve the ability of the students? He has given key information about components of academic process flow that are very useful for us to implement in academic process in our institution. In curriculum aspects, Professor addressed about curriculum structures, design of engineering program, which will be very helpful for academic process. Really, we are wondered about academic process carried in your institution, sir. In this happiest occasion, I am very proud to register my sincere thanks on behalf of Ramco Institute of Technology Management, Principal, Vice Principal, Heads of Department. I register my sincere thanks to Dr. S.J. Thiruvengadam. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Participants kindly fill the feedback form that is posted in the chat box.
The feedback form will be available with 15 minutes only. Kindly register your feedback. Tomorrow's session will start at 10 o'clock. So I think today's session over this we completed. So I hope participant will get more information about this